Please join me in Gasho.
That's the wrong one.
When I consider deeply the vow of Amida, which arose from 5 kalpas of profound thought, I realized that it was entirely for the sake of myself alone. Then how I am filled with gratitude for the primal vow in which Amida resolved to save me, though I am burdened with such heavy karma. Namo Amida Butsu.
Namo Amida Butsu.
Namo Amida Butsu.
Namo Amida Butsu.
I have this you too. Happy New Year's, everyone.
Happy New Year.
Welcome back to our service for 2014. 2014 is the common era. That's why nowadays you see things, instead of saying BC or AD, it says BCE or CE. All right? Because it used to be everything was based upon Jesus Christ's life. Within Buddhism, so if we take it from a Buddhist perspective, this would be the year 2497, right? And 2014. So when you think about these types of numbers, you realize that it doesn't mean that much. They're just numbers that we're designating for certain things. For a Jodo Shinshu Buddhist, every day is a good day. So in Japanese, what they would say, Shinnen akemashite omedetou gozaimasu, which means to congratulations on the opening of a new year. It should actually be Gomainichi akemashite omedetou gozaimasu, which means congratulations on the opening of a new day. Because it's every day that we should be grateful. Since we're on this topic of years, this is in the Chinese zodiac. I know a lot of people know what the Chinese zodiac, because they go to Chinese restaurants and get those little fortune cookies, or on their place service, on the tables, they got little paper ones that says, what is your Chinese zodiac? And people read this. This is the year of the horse. Right? And from my reading, it says that the year of the horse is very special because it's the spirit of the horse is the Chinese people's ethos. It's the ethics of the Chinese people is often epitomized by the horse. Because the horse, they say, it's something that makes unremitting efforts to improve themselves. The spirit of the horse is energetic, bright, warm-hearted, intelligent, and able. Ancient people like to designate an able person as Kianli Ma. I don't know if I said that right, but it means a horse that covers 1,000 li in one day. 1 li equals 500 meters. Right? So the spirit of effort, energy is what they said. On this website, it wasn't a fortune cookie or placemat. It says, the strengths of people born in the year of the horse have ingenious communicating techniques, and in their community they always want to be in the limelight. They are clever, kind to others, and like to join in a venture career. Although they sometimes talk too much, they are cheerful, perceptive, talented, earthy but stubborn. They like entertainment and large crowds. They are popular among friends, active at work, and refuse to be reconciled to failure, although their endeavor cannot last indefinitely. Seems like there's weaknesses in there, but the weaknesses, it says, is they cannot bear too much constraint. However, their interests may be only superficial and lacking real substance. They're usually impatient and hot-blooded about everything other than their daily work. They're independent and rarely listen to advice. Failure may result in pessimism. They usually have strong endurance, but with bad temper. Flamboyant by nature, they are wasteful, since they are not good with matters of finance, due to a lack of budgetary efficiency. Some of those who are born in the horse year like to move in glamorous circles while pursuing high-profile careers. They tend to interfere in many things and frequently fail to finish projects of their own. Whenever I read these things, you know people who are born in the year of horse are like that, and people who aren't. They can almost fit all of us to some extent, so I think they're just fun things to read. But I did about the story of, you know how the Chinese zodiac began? I think it's an interesting legend. Different people say different things, but the first time I heard it, it was said that the Buddha called all the animals. And so I read a Chinese one that called it the Jade Emperor. The Jade Emperor is the king of the universe. But the first one I read was, this was supposed to be like a Buddhist story. And he said, the Buddha called all the animals and said, I want you to come to me tomorrow morning. And the first 12 I will name years after. Right? So these two good friends, the cat and the mouse, told each other, let's go. Let's try to get up early to be the first ones that the Buddha will give us a year for. Right? And the cat told the mouse, he says, you know, I'm not good at waking up. I like to lounge around a lot, so be sure to wake me up in the morning. Right? And so the mouse says, of course I will. And the next morning, the mouse jumped up, because the mouse is always very energetic and wakes up very early. And he was so excited, he forgot to wake his friend, the cat. And so he was running and running, but you know, all these other animals were much bigger than him. So he asked the ox, right, could I get a ride on your back? And the ox says, yes, sure. I'm going to be the first one because I'm the biggest and strongest. So he goes, but I would like you to sing to me while I'm running. And the mouse says, sure, I'll do that. So the mouse jumped on the ox's head. And they're running and running towards the Buddha. And they saw the Buddha. And just as they approached the Buddha, the mouse jumped off the ox's head and landed in the Buddha's lap. Right? So that's why the mouse is the first of the Chinese zodiac. Right? The ox is second. But where's the cat? The cat never made it. So the cat to this day holds a grudge towards the mouse. So that's why even to now, the cat and the mouse never get along. So this is what I heard from the Chinese story of this zodiac. But you know, I didn't want to give you just an Asian culture lesson. These two quotes I began with. One is from the Tanisho, which I think that our adult study class will use whenever there isn't just a general topic, because it's one of the most important works in Jodo Shinshu. It's actually one of the most important works in Japanese literature. It used to be that when you took the entrance exams for colleges, oftentimes they would take a portion of this Tanisho as part of the questions. Right? But it's called Notes Lamenting Differences, or Records Lamenting Differences. It's a book written by one of Shinran Shoni's disciples, because after Shinran died, there were many, many disputes about what he actually was teaching. And so this Yuyembo compiled these messages or records of what Shinran said. Right? And this Tanisho is a very short book. It's a very small book, but it's one of the most profound that we have in Jodo Shinshu. It's been translated many times actually into English. So we could use a variety of sources to read, to study. But this is from the postscript that I began the passage with. So Shinran says that upon 5 kalpas of contemplation, 5 kalpas is a long time. You know how long one kalpa is? The description of one kalpa. Okay. Imagine these mountains here. What's the tallest mountain we have in this mountain range? Mount Olympus? Is that the biggest one? Okay. So imagine every 100 years that one of these bodhisattvas happens to fly by. And as the bodhisattva flies by, its robe brushes against the mountain. Every 100 years it does this. One kalpa is said to be the time it takes for that mountain to disintegrate from the brushing of the bodhisattva's robe. So basically, it's a very, very long time. So 5 kalpas is a way, way long time. Right? It's almost like the beginning of the universe. And so, to me, I was thinking about what it is for us to be here. Because as a Jodo Shinshu Buddhist, as I said, it's not about this particular year, it's about every day that we're here. What did it take for us to be here? Right? And when we think about who we are, we realize we're just a bunch of cells that have been coming together for 5 kalpas or more. Millions and millions of years, these cells have been working to survive. They come together, fall apart, come together. And what are they working for? As Shinran said in his Tanisho, he realizes that it's for myself alone. In the same way as for us as Jodo Shinshikus, we have to realize that the entire universe has been working. It's been coming together. It's been trying to survive for just one purpose. For you. So that you could be a conscious human being. This is what Shinran is talking about when he says he realizes that the primal vow, this wish for life, to become life, for you to become you, has taken thousands and millions of causes and conditions to allow you to be there. So when I remembered Peter Parker, his uncle Ben Parker, Benjamin Parker, actually I was reading he doesn't actually say this in the original Spider-Man comic books. With great power comes great responsibility. It was actually added by Stanley later when people picked up on this. That's a great phrase, with great power comes great responsibility. And in the Spider-Man movie with Tobey Maguire, Cliff Robertson actually says those words. But in the Amazing Spider-Man, he doesn't really say it. But I love it anyway. With great power comes great responsibility. What is this great power that we each have? We're like Spider-Man. The great power is what greater power is when you think that the entire universe has been working on your behalf. Everything within the universe has been coming together, stewing, brewing, just so you can be here right now. That's great power. It's amazing causes and conditions. But with that knowledge comes great responsibility. And for us as Jodo Shinshikus, that great responsibility is to live a life of gratitude. To appreciate all the different causes and conditions that have brought you here right now. And what will you do to pay back the universe for this wonderful blessing of life? This wonderful realization, this consciousness, this ability to be aware of who and what you are. This is the question I hope that you will ask yourselves for the new year. We talk about New Year's resolution, it's usually, I'm going to lose weight, I'm going to save money. Think about, what will I do for the benefit of others? What will I do to pay back this great gift that I have been given. You don't have to start out big. Try something small. How can I pay back my parents for having given me this life? Have I said thank you to them? How can I thank my brother or sister for being there with me to help me become me? These are resolutions that I think are very fitting for us as Buddhists. So remember this phrase, with great power comes great responsibility. Remember what Shinran said about the entire universe working for the benefit of him. So I hope that you have a happy today, and you do have a happy new year. So we'll close with Gasho, please. When I consider deeply the vow of Amida, which arose from 5 kalpas of profound thought, I realized that it was entirely for the sake of myself alone. Namo Amida Butsu.
Namo Amida Butsu.
Namo Amida Butsu.
Namo Amida Butsu.
Namo Amida Butsu.